again.
Welcome back. It's still the big conversation. Our guest today is someone who understands what it takes to position a brand for real success. Not just social media hype, but global impact. Please welcome Olubenga Ogunbowale, a visionary social entrepreneur and funding strategist. He is the CEO of Grantmaster, helping businesses and NGOs secure over $30 million in funding. He's the founder of the Orphan Empowerment Society, impacting 25,000 orphans across Africa. His Google-supported cyber hygiene app protects over 45,000 teenagers, and he's a multiple award winner, a Mandela Washington Fellow, and judge for the $1.5 million Africa Business Heroes competition. With him, we'll explore why some brands don't grow, the power of positioning, how to become grant-ready, and what it means to build a brand that goes beyond borders. Please welcome the Grantmaster himself, Benga Ogunbowale. So good to have you here today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Welcome on the show. I love this
so much.
conversation because I've seen you talk so, passionately about, how a lot of people play small. A lot of people are struggling and they're doing great work, but it's not their fault that they're not getting the visibility that they, deserve. And I love the women that are on this show as well to have this conversation with me, because we've often talked about how it seems like this day it's just about just doing, visibility is just about exactly, and then people you see people who are maybe not as good as you, who are not as talented as you, who are not as, but they're getting the recognition, the grants. We talked about that before, Calvin. So is that what all is about today, for someone to be able to go from local champion to global champion? Just know how to sweet talk. Is that all?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
So in order to do that, it goes beyond noise making. Right? There are two categories of people. There are people that make noise. There are people that make news. A lot of times we confuse noise making for news making, because sometimes the loudest person in the room seems to get all of the attention, right? And when you watch social media, sometimes that is what happens. Somebody's making a lot of noise, then they have a lot of followers, and then the people mistake that for impact. No, it's really about being strategic, right? It's about being strategic and being deliberate. A lot of people treat their image, and on a personal level and on an organizational level, they treat their image with levity. Right? So first of all, when I came into the studio today, I was very, very impressed, with the level of organization, even the way I was attended to, the person at the reception. And I looked around, I'm like, wow, this is really good. Right? Because I've also been to other TV stations, and I know, what the kind of things that I meet, right? And I'm like, this TV station, some other TV stations, you see that Nigeria has happened to them, essentially.
I hope my head will be able to go through the door by the end of this interview, but thank you.
So
Thank you.
First of all, I want to say, kudos to the
Dominion people.
To Dominion, to
Thank
everybody,
you.
the staff,
Thank
kudos,
you.
right?
Thank
Because essentially you exemplify what we're talking about today. When we're talking about branding and talking about global opportunities, first it starts with positioning. It starts with you taking yourself very, very seriously. It starts with you being deliberate with your image, with the way people see you. But it also starts with you just knowing who you are, knowing the problem that you are meant to solve, right? And you delivering value. It's really about value, really. It's delivering value. The only reason anybody is watching this right now is because they think that they're going to get value from this program.
Absolutely.
And so we will be doing them a disservice if after they're watching, they're asking themselves, did I just waste my time?
So true, so true. I mean, for a lot of people out there, because we're talking today about not just businesses, but even brands, because I know that's one of the things you do as well, help even brands get, that, so why is it that, let's start from fundamental, why is it that so many people are doing well, but not growing or not getting that visibility?
So I think one reason is that some people just don't know that more is possible, right? People do what people see. That's the law of the picture. People do what people see.
Yes.
So some people just don't know that it's possible to do bigger, which is why sometimes people go from rural areas and they go to cities and then they do big things, right? So if you...
Or they jackpot and then they...
yes, right? That's another case where, some people... In fact, I have a very interesting case, which is when I was in secondary school, there was this particular guy that was always struggling in class, right? And then this same guy went to the US and, he graduated top of his class. And everybody in my class were wondering, like,
what?
how?
How?
What changed, right?
Yes.
How? So
Mindset.
Yes. So sometimes people just don't know that more is possible. That's one case where you're talented, obviously you have the goods, but you just don't know that more is possible because of your environment, because of the things that you're seeing around you. You just don't know that more is possible. That's one criteria. Another one is just the environment, as it were.
True.
Nigeria has a way of conditioning you, to mediocrity. right? So you don't have light for, several days or hours. The light is, light is restored and everybody shouts up NEPA,
Yes,
right?
the standard is...
Even in the most expensive estates, in this town, in this country, it's the exact same thing, right? In the exact same thing. I mean, I will not mention the name of where I stay, but right in the estate group, we are talking about power. Literally, we're talking about power supply, right? And that is what we're talking about, power supply, right? And so, if you like, stay in a remote community, if you like, stay in the biggest estates, wherever in this country, power supply is still an issue. Yeah. Right? And so mediocrity, when you grow up in an environment where, if NEPA brings light, oh, you're happy, right? You're excited, as if you're not paying for the service. So mediocrity is something that has been hardwired into our culture. So an average Nigerian, if you're a businessman or, you work somewhere, if you're not careful, you are sucked into that system where mediocrity is, if not celebrated, is tolerated. Right? So that's one thing. Every single Nigerian needs to fight against that, right? You need to fight against it because that is where you are born into. That is where you are born into. You need to fight against it. So let me give you examples. When I served in Kogi State, one of the things that happened was that I got into a community, right? And then the core members that welcomed us said, oh, don't worry, there will be lights. Don't worry. Because when we got there, it was dark at night. We were like, why is there no light in the entire town? They're like, don't worry, there'll be lights. 2 months later, they then told us that was what the core members before them told them too.
Wow.
Yes.
So it was...
Yes.
Exactly.
I served in a place for 1 year and there was no light throughout. The one time there was light, they said, oh, they were testing something. They brought light once and there was no light all through.
Wow,
right?
yes.
So several core members did not want to stay in that place. They did not. So just imagine you're growing up in that kind of environment.
You're miserable. So they say misery likes company.
Yes. Thank you. Quite a number of core members ghosted. They just posted themselves to somewhere else.
Right.
Proportionate in this instance.
Yeah.
And you see that young people are really, really stifled. They are struggling so hard. And that's why the issue about electricity hurts me so much, because I've been trying to work. This is the period whereby I had this mental rush, I had this idea rush, and I wanted to just execute, but I could not put anything down. So I worked for 2 hours and I will stop and I'll come back later. I tried to see if I can see workstations where I could at least, work. But still, in a crowded environment, how do you birth any kind of change? If you are working, then you stop. You continue again. Well, we need ideas to flow freely.
Exactly.
Without it being stopped at any point because of the issue of power supply.
Absolutely. I mean, I want to use you, Kauthers. I'm going to put you on the spot and use Kauthers, because Kauthers is a brand. You're trying to sort of get to that. And one of the things you've mentioned, I don't know if you'd like to mention a few of those things that you're struggling with. Maybe Benga can use us.
Use me as the laboratory here.
Exactly.
Now, because I'm trying to build my organizational brand. I'm the founder of the Civic Construct, and I'm also trying to build a personal brand. But one thing I'll tell you for a fact that I've been struggling with building my organizational brand is the fact that I still want to be within the nucleus of my organization. I don't want to be here and there, because my organization is not... I don't want to use the word not trying to go viral, but I still want to be sure that there is utility. So it is not virality for me now, it is utility. I also understand the fact that you have to be the one to make the news, not expecting, yes, being in the news is different from you being the one making that particular news. I understand. But then I've seen so many people doing this here, that here, not being within the nucleus of their organization. Is that how really you are going to, get the grants, get the money? Because I don't want to confuse virality for utility in this instance.
Correct.
But because if I try to pursue virality, I'm going to limit the elements of my content making to, things that will catch your sight. But
you dance. Today you dance.
Yes, so I'm going to be chasing. I'm going to be chasing content that have clickbaits.
Yeah.
As opposed to my organization is there to civically engage people, to empower young people, old people across all demography. Encourage them to know that, see, it is important for you to participate in election and electioneering process. So it is an educative organization. How do I not sacrifice utility for virality or authenticity for virality in this instance?
Sure. This is a fantastic question. So first of all, let's start from what the definition of a brand is.
Okay.
What is a brand? A brand is a person or an entity, right, that is easy to identify and hard to substitute.
Okay.
Right? So the first thing is brand building. You need to first understand what you stand for.
Yeah.
The reason why a lot of people, struggle with building brands and a lot of organizations is that they don't stand for something. When you stand for everything, you stand for nothing.
Yeah.
So the very first thing is, what is that one thing that you are the best in the world at, that you are good at, right? Dominion. What is the one thing that you want to be known for? What is Dominion's positioning as a TV station? Because there are so many TV stations, right? But then the question is, people watch specific TV stations for specific things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The same way when I want international news, I go to CNN, right?
There's a niche.
There's a niche for it,
Right.
right? So people do things to solve a job, right?
Yeah.
There's a concept called jobs to be done.
Yes.
Right? So for your organization, the question is, what is the job to be done?
Okay.
Right? So when you think about grants, for instance, naturally, Olubenga, Ogunbowale will come to your mind. Grandmaster will come to your mind, right? Because it's a deliberate positioning. Very, very deliberate positioning.
Strategic.
Yes, very strategic.
And you never have
right?
to dance to get to the
No, you don't have to.
Okay.
So
Okay, I think that answers.
So I think it's very, very important, for your brand and for people that are watching, you need to first ask yourself, where do I want to play? What niche do I want to occupy? Because a lot of people try to do too many things, right? So you have to first pick one thing, very tiny.
Yes.
One thing, and then make so much noise, beat the hell out of the drum. Right? So that people know that when they need help in this one area, you are the one.
You're the name that comes up.
You are the name that comes up. It's your organization. A good example, for instance, would be budget.
Yeah.
Right? When you're talking about budget, I mean, Olusegun Onígbìdé is someone I know very well.
Yeah.
Right? I respect him so much. Someone I know very well. We have a relationship. And one thing I love about them is consistency.
Yeah.
Right? They are very consistent and they are focused. When you're talking about, the budget in Nigeria, you're talking about financial responsibility, financial transparency, budget naturally comes to mind.
Right.
Right? Budget is not trying to do
Mimic
1
somebody
million things.
else
Yes,
or-
they're not trying to do 1 million things.
Just focus
right?
on their
But
focus.
that one thing that they are doing, they're extremely good at it. And so when there are opportunities, naturally people think about them. Right? So one thing that I've seen with a lot of organizations and individuals is they try to do too many things. Let me give you an example. Say a small business owner, right? You own a small shop. Right? The same you're a fashion designer. The same you're selling kerosene. The same you are selling airtime. Right? The same you are trying to run a crèche. Inside that same one shop.
Crash. No.
So when people want to buy kerosene, they don't go to you. They rather go to the one person who only sells kerosene.
Yes.
When people want to keep their kids somewhere, they will not go to you. Why? Because first of all, you are even selling kerosene. It's not safe for their children, right?
Yes.
When people want to buy airtime, they will not go to you. They will go to the person who is only selling airtime.
Definitely.
So you can see why
Yes.
people confuse activity for productivity.
Yes, I guess a lot of people are afraid when it comes to doing one thing. A lot of people are afraid that it's more like a slow burner. It doesn't work fast, and a lot of us are impatient. So it takes
And trying
consistency. It's like
different things.
knocking on a wall. It takes just continues. You are not going to get applauded in the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But some people like that's why they resort to the games. I know Famila doesn't like the dancing, but there are people who gain notoriety.
So now, yes, I know some people who have really packaged themselves as being,
package.
yes,
Yes.
packaged themselves as being,
They are
smart.
family.
Yes.
Yes, they are very, they are very authentic. They write relatable stories, but beneath it, is they don't have to. They don't have to dance. There's no substance, or maybe there's little substance, and they have not magnified it. I'm going to give a personal example of someone that I know who I've known the person for about 10 years, no, about 15 years. So we wanted to do something. So of course this person was making noise on social media. So I thought they could do what I wanted. So let's say I wanted to do something like this, So now say, oh, you're a printer, please do this for me, because this person has gotten a lot of grants, it has made a lot of noise, Oh, the person said, oh, they could not do it, that they were busy or something. And I'm like, busy, But this person consistently
Declined.
has been getting grants,
Wow, okay.
grants, recognition, has been the best in the field. I kept quiet. So I have a friend that now shared this person's, story, and that, I said, it's packaging,
I think that's one thing I'm.
There's packaging, let me finish this
Yes,
story. There's
yeah.
packaging, because I need you to address that,
Yes. Okay.
There's packaging, that, okay, she said, no, she's this. And she now needed another thing, I'm going to meet the person. Of course, this is what you do. Yes. So can you please help my organization? It's a big organization, a multinational. Can you please help us to do it? She declined. She declined.
Wow, and her branding was, I mean,
this person goes on everywhere in the world.
wow, Okay.
So it's, if you know how to write, if you know, if my brother used to say that you can write your way out of poverty, in this age of social media, if you know how to write, if you know how to speak, people package themselves.
But that can get your foot, that can get you through the door, but can he help you stay in the room?
Yes, now. This person would do this thing, this sample, this is the sample. She would do like about 10 and be posting it.
Okay, please, Grandmaster.
Okay, so in order for you to really build a sustainable brand,
exactly.
a brand that lasts,
Yes,
a lasting
there
brand,
must be substance behind.
your container must have content.
Exactly.
Right? Your container must have content. It's not enough for you to have just a shiny container, right? Your container must have content. And so, for example, take, let me give you an example. Grandmaster, we won a grant recently from MasterCard, right? And in the process of applying for the grant, one of the things they will ask for is they ask for your financials, right? Not just the financials of like where you keep your record, like the software. They will ask for your bank statement. Now, just imagine, for instance, that, and the way they do it
imagine
is,
this person who has not done any.
Thank you very much.
She will say she's doing, I know her.
And her
What
bank
about
statement will
audit
not show
report?
that she's not doing.
Oh,
Yes.
okay, yeah. Well,
Audit report.
Yes.
So these are some of the things they ask for,
This
right?
is lying about
right?
that.
And they usually like do it in stages, so that in stage 1 they will not ask you for those things. So that in stage 1 they will allow you
get
lie,
comfortable.
right?
Yes.
And so by stage 2, by the time they ask you for those documents, let's now see if you are going to change your story, right? If you said your revenue was A,
exactly.
right? And then by the time they now see your books, they're like,
B.
what is going on here, right? And so that is it. Yes, with very good storytelling and packaging, you will be able to, get into some rooms, but you really cannot break into some places if you really don't have the content,
some
because
places.
your lack of
Like substance.
depth of substance
Exactly.
will expose itself, right? Because you need to be able to deliver, right? You need to be able to deliver on the job. So for anyone watching this, right, don't be carried away by what you see on social media. By the way, social media is not real life. All our lives are edited on social media. People
And
show their very
curated.
best part. Curated.
Yes.
People show their very best part on social media. They don't show you the
Even
worst
me.
part
I
on
want
social
to
media,
start
right?
True.
So by all means, don't be carried away by what you see on social
Exactly.
media. Your content, your container must have content. If you want to build an enduring brand, not a brand that would come and fizzle out, ensure that you build capacity, right? Don't be involved in too many things.
Yeah.
If you're an organization or an individual, right? Focus on just a few key things and become extremely good at it,
Right.
so that you are associated, the name of your organization, your name is associated with that particular thing, right? Because it's very difficult to compete with the big guys. It's just like you starting a TV station now, and then setting out and saying you want to compete with CNN. First of all, you are not even known in your state. You are not even known in your area. Is CNN? Are you?
Yes,
That's
someone,
just.
yes.
I mean, that's just a delusion, right?
Yes.
You need to wake up from your dream.
Right.
You need to first be the best in your street before you can say you want to be the best in your state.
state.
Before you can say you want to be the best in the country or
Yes.
don't jump from A to Z.
Yes,
No, that's not how
yes.
this works. So
Okay.
I'll stop
All
here.
right,
For
so
now.
I want to ask what mistakes entrepreneurs make or brands make when applying for grants. I'd like us to dive into some of the mistakes
Okay.
they make, and then also I know grants. There are people, individual brands who get grants. Like this TV station can get, this TV show can get grants.
Absolutely,
right?
yes.
Absolutely. So
Absolutely.
what are the mistakes that people make, and how can people position themselves like this kind of show?
Yes.
Fantastic. I mean, you can thank Dominion for this free masterclass. That you're
Thank
going to
you.
get with I think one of the key mistakes that people make when applying for grants is that they apply without being ready. So what do I mean?
Okay.
What do I mean by that? So for example, when you want to apply for a grant, one of the things you should have is a bank account in the name of the organization.
Okay.
Right? Now, let me quickly address one thing, which is that individuals can win grants, but those grants are usually very tiny.
Yes.
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 Grants like $500, $1,000, right? And I'm sure that's not why you're watching this show.
Exactly.
You want big things.
Yes.
Right? So if you don't register your organization, you are working as an individual, there's a ceiling to what you can do. You will not be able to attract big grants. So if you want to attract big grants, first thing is your organization should be registered. That NGO should be registered. Your business should be registered, right? Because funders don't want to give money to individuals.
Yes.
An individual can easily get lost.
Yes.
Just cross the border like this, you
Chop
have
money.
gotten
Exactly,
lost,
and can't
right?
find you again.
Very easy to get lost. But an organization it's not easy for an organization to get lost. It's not easy to just disappear and run away with money, right?
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. People apply without being ready. First thing is you need to be ready, right? Have you registered? Do you have a bank account in the name of the organization?
Right.
If, for instance, you have an organization or you have a business, and you are collecting money with your personal bank account,
Yes.
you are an armed robber.
Hey.
That's armed robbery. Essentially, you are stealing from your organization. So you need to separate yourself from your business, from your
business.
NGO, You need to separate yourself.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. People apply when they are not ready. That's the first thing.
Okay.
The second thing is that people and organizations apply for about every opportunity they see, right? See, there are two spectrums. There's one spectrum where people don't apply at all. There's an extreme spectrum where people just apply for anything, right?
Even if they don't qualify.
It's a grand pandemic.
Really?
I mean, I'm on social media and I see some people, instead of them to do the real work, you know, that will give them profit. Right. The grant is supposed to be, some people leave the work and they start chasing grants. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so that is a problem. It's a problem because essentially what will happen is that you will burn out, right? Because all these funders will serve you breakfast. Yeah. They will serve you breakfast. You will burn out. So you should not chase every opportunity that you see. Not every opportunity is for you. You need to check the eligibility criteria, right? Are they looking for somebody like me? Check the people that they funded in the past. Do they look like me? If no, you should not bother. Really, grants are extremely competitive.
Right.
I'll give you an example. There was this Google grant that we won. We won this grant 2 times in a row. And essentially, in the first stage, thousands of people applied. Second stage, we were about 500. By the time they announced the winners, 26.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Out of thousands.
Yes.
Right? So you know that if anybody tells you that it's easy to win grants, they're lying. They're lying. It is not easy. Right? It takes a process. But in order for you to increase your chances, you need to apply for opportunities that you actually, qualify for. Right? Another mistake that people make is, sometimes they rush the process.
Right.
Meaning that there's an opportunity that is going to close tomorrow. You then decide today,
like,
yes, let me apply. Right? I serve a living God.
Yeah.
And then you start, because we're very religious in this country, right? And then you start, and then you rush the process. And then by the time they serve you breakfast, you're wondering, why did they say, sorry, unfortunately.
Exactly.
It's because you didn't put in the time. You didn't put in the work, right? Yeah. Most of the people that win grants, sometimes applications, they start working on it, months. Wow. Like, for example, some of the students, we have a school called Grand Success School where we teach people how to win grants. Some of our students that won today Limelu grants, some of them, spent 4 weeks putting together an application. 4 weeks. And you spent 1 day putting together, you want to beat the people that spent 4 weeks. How will you win? How?
Oof.
Right?
Wow. That's amazing. I mean, and then you've built a business on like helping people get grants. That's phenomenal. Absolutely. All right, we're going to be able to explore this topic a bit more. But first, let's look at our life hack. Then when we come back, we have a very interesting segment called Agree or Disagree, which is what these boards are for. So we can't wait for you to, play that game with us. But first, let's go on a short break. We'll be right back.
Hi there, I'm Kemi Inoye, Executive Director, Care Group, and I want you to know that as a working mom, you can do it. What is most important is for you to set your heart both on work and on family. You're going to need to sacrifice some things. So it might mean you can't show up at those Owambes, you can't show up for hangouts, but you need to understand that is a temporary investment for an amazing future that you desire. You've got this, you can do it, and keep rocking it.
Welcome back. Now it's time for the fire round. Agree or disagree? No sitting on the fence, just bold takes and honest thoughts. Or again, the comment section as well. I want you to tell us if you agree or disagree. And you know what we like to do? We always defend our answer. All right, here's the question. And Benga, I want to ask you if you agree or disagree to this statement. The statement is, the main difference between a local and global brand is perception. The main difference between a local, I like the Counselor, we're waiting for you. The main difference between a local and global brand is perception. Oh, wow. 2. All right, so we have 2 disagrees and 2 agrees. Let's start from Funlola.
Okay, so everything in this life is curated. And people plan how they want to be perceived. Okay. So if you want to position your brand as a global brand, you need to invest in public perception, in how the public will see you.
Okay, all right.
Yes, so
Counselor, is that okay?
For me,
you also agree?
I believe that going global is not relating to geography. It's a mindset,
Right.
And then it is how you just position yourself, perception.
Yes.
Like you rightly said, if you are going to be doing one particular thing in a niche, if you have identified a nucleus of something you want to do, how do people out there actually see you? The first thing they say is, oh, KMS walks into this room. That is who KMS is. When Benga walks into this room, he's a grandmaster. That is who he is. So I think that it is more or less of a perception than maybe geography or anything else.
Okay, I mean, I think for me it goes beyond geography. That's what I'm thinking, because I'm thinking main thing, because I know some really great brands who have gone global, and I always like to mention maybe like a Kokare Cafe, for example. She's even very, I feel like she's not even taking her social media as well as she should, and she's gone global. She's doing phenomenal. So for me, I disagree, because she's such a huge inspiration, because she's here in Ibadan, and she uses coconut shavings to make what's this thing that used to grow sand, the soil that used to grow.
Because she's not chasing.
She makes coconut. She has her own coconut thing. She's just, I mean, she has to be on this show one of these days, very soon. You know, but she's someone that if you see her, she's very, you know, she doesn't even take her social media as. So that's why for me, I'll say that for me, the main ingredient is structure. It goes a long way, because I mean, we're also as a brand, as Dominion, trying to position excellence, which is why from our doorstep you see us, the person who greets you and bring you here, and our studio, and then also the programs that we do here, we're trying to project excellence. We're trying to also share the narrative that Ibadan, the people in Ibadan, we're not comedians, we're not local, we're not, you know, we're trying to show that there's excellence in Ibadan. That's what we're all about. So our content and everything is positioned that way, but I know it goes beyond that. Is what I'm saying. The main ingredient cannot be perception, because I know already people see us as, you know, excellent. People already are saying, oh, can I come on your show? People already treat this place like a museum. They want to come and see our studios, but I know it goes beyond that, because we're trying to put a lot more work beyond that perception to be able to globalize. What do you think? And I know you agreed.
I disagreed. I disagreed. And the reason I disagreed is because essentially the difference between a local brand and global brand is not just perception. Perception is one of the ingredients, right? But it's not the main ingredient. I think it's the ability to deliver on your promise, right? A brand is really a promise. A brand is a promise kept. So it's that ability to deliver on your promise.
Is a promise kept.
Yes. So it's the ability to deliver on your promise. If you consistently deliver on that promise, right, and then you solve the same problem for someone in Nigeria, someone in Ghana, Uganda, Kenya, US, Canada, right, then you're a global brand, right? So it's your ability to consistently, you know, deliver on that promise. That is really what makes you a brand. Because if you have a strong perception in the market and then people test you and then the brand is bad, they won't come back.
Absolutely.
No. I think we're getting something wrong here.
Okay.
If we are going to define what is perception, everything we've all said
right
now,
perception is how people see you.
Inside of. So if you are bad, if you are not consistent, if you do not deliver, people will naturally see you as no, this person, don't go there.
Case in point, the person she's made an example of
is a perception. So I think we are getting it wrongly here.
Right.
Everything we have said can fit into the bottle of perception.
I disagree.
How?
I disagree, because not just about people. Look, people can see you a certain way, but you are a total fake, and you can get away with it for a long time.
You can get away with it.
You can get away with it. Yes.
She has said somebody has been working for a couple of years now, and they are somehow. But to some other person, they might be also different. They might be different. It is how you perceive something. What I'm just saying in support of everything is that, see, I see Dominion TV as people who have lived up to standard for me. When it comes to journalism, broadcasting, when it comes to people care and all of that, they have it. They've built that perception for themselves.
Right.
It is something I'm saying that everything you're doing as a brand can fit into it. If you are bad, you are just bad. You don't deliver on your words. You are somebody that when they give you grants, you first go and buy moto. I know people like that.
Yes, exactly.
That the moment they collect grants, they first change their car. They'll change their shoes, their clothes. But the real thing you've collected the grant for, they don't do it. It won't take a long
I think it's
time.
about visibility versus value.
Exactly.
And that's why I disagree, because I feel like, yes, you can be visible and all of that, but if you don't have that value, of course, you're still going to be able to fool some people.
Reality is that it's how you even measure value.
Yeah, so
Exactly.
so I think to buttress your point, it's really perception over time.
Yeah.
Right? That's why I disagree.
Over time.
That's why I disagree. But because if you talk about just perception, you can get away with a lot.
Yes,
Even
look at
in
LinkedIn.
5 years.
Look at
Even in
LinkedIn.
5 years, right? You can get away with a lot.
ChatGPT has also helped.
Yeah. But over 10 years, 20 years, it's almost impossible.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
It's almost impossible.
I mean, look at Ebon that you mentioned.
Yeah.
Putting Ebon side by side, you know, she's very laid back in some ways, but
you
she's
can
very
see
at
person
work.
very
that
hardworking,
this person
yes.
is
She's very
hardworking.
about
Her
social
brand
media.
also
But
speaks-
the
the
she
value
does-
of her brand speaks for itself.
Now she's leading a revolution in that you can plant coconuts anywhere in
Yes.
Nigeria. It doesn't have to be some certain areas. You can grow coconut in your state. You can grow. You know, she is like the voice of coconut plantation. You know, in Nigeria, even in Africa. You know, so and she does a lot of things. For
Around
someone who, yes, she was in the media. She just, you know,
Yes, she was in the
went-
media,
yeah, she
yes.
just got into coconuts, maybe her children or because of her children or something, and now
Right.
she's everywhere.
Right. Okay, before I mean, because I know our time is fast spent, but let's talk about the power of partnerships, networking. Does it aid being able to, you know, because I know us Nigerians, I want to be the writer, producer of my, we don't like to share. We'd rather have zero than to have partnership or maybe like have 10% of, you know, whatever. So what's the power of partnerships and networking? Because I've tried it as well, and I've seen the downside of that. Because once your partner isn't as driven as you when it comes to certain,
true.
those are the downside. But what's the what? How does networking and partnership sort of aid being able to get out there and get grants and stuff?
I think partnership and networking are critical ingredients, right? Because
Yeah.
especially if you're an organization and you're small and you want to win a big grant,
Yes.
right? The fastest way is to partner with an organization that is bigger than you. That's the
Right,
fastest way.
right.
But the thing with partnership is that, you know, just like you were saying, you need to partner with people that are aligned with you.
Yeah.
Right? Because when it comes to grants, if you guys don't have a good relationship,
Right.
you're not aligned on values, it's very possible that you people will be chasing each other with gun when the money lands.
When the money lands.
Yes, money has, you know, a spirit. It changes people, right? So partnerships are key. If you want to apply for an opportunity that you don't qualify for, and then there's an organization that is qualified, you can partner with them, right? So there are multiple ways you can partner. You can partner on projects. You can even partner on ingredients of a program. Like for instance, you work with a partner for training, you work with a partner, you know, for venue, you work with a partner for PR, right? Look for instance at events that happen, a lot of big events that happen. You will see that they have a lot of partners, right? There was this event that I attended in Lagos. I spoke at Lagos Leather Fair. You were at the event, you know, and they had a lot of partners, right? And that was what it took to bring together everybody, you know, to achieve that, right?
course.
So it's very important. But I think the two key things is, you need to be aligned on values, right? And you need to have a working relationship together. Don't just partner with someone you've never worked with before, an organization you've never worked with before, just because you want to apply for an opportunity. It's going to end in tears, right? That's on the partnership side. On the side of networking, I think that networking is a double-edged sword, right? Because if you're not careful with networking, you can burn out in the name of, you know, trying to attend every networking event, right? Yes, trying to attend every networking event. They say, oh,
and then
Mr. Hayes coming here.
Desperado, because people can smell that desperation. Because I know I'm here to just, okay, let me get your card. Okay, and you know, you just become one of those people who just see the bad person
Just
everywhere,
like
and you know they're just sniffing for what can he do for me? What can he do for me?
Yes.
You know, that's what networking has become.
Absolutely. Yeah. So if you're networking, if you are thinking about networking, you're thinking it's about going to every single event in town
And get the
to meet
cards.
and get the cards, right? You've gotten it wrong, right? You are going to burn out, essentially, right? Because when you're going to those people and you're saying, you know, can you mentor me? Can you do this? Can we work together? Can you hire me? They will not, right?
Exactly.
They don't have time. Important people don't have time. They are busy, right? They are looking for. They have problems in their own lives. that
Thank
they
you.
want to
So
solve.
how can you solve their problem?
Even us, we are busy.
Thank you.
Of course, now,
We are important. Yes. No, I'm saying that in your own definition now,
Right.
important people, maybe people who
Dangote.
are Dangote.
Right,
No, but
exactly.
looking at us,
Thank you.
I've had
Even-
many
yes.
DMs say, come and mentor. I'm
Mentor.
like,
Oh,
let me
yes,
go.
about
I told you.
Who needs the mentorship?
Absolutely. Yes. The best way to network is to find how can I add value to Benga?
Yes. Yes.
that way. And I think that's
Absolutely.
the best mindset for
Yes.
networking.
So if you approach that, you know,
more like
with,
how can I add
with
value
yes.
to myself?
if you approach that with, oh, how can I add value to you, right? How, you know, is this how
don't
can,
need people.
and in fact, you should not even be asking the question, how can I add value? You should have done your research, your homework, right? So just imagine that you approach, you know, someone like
Yes.
someone you actually want to mentor you, and you say, oh, I noticed that you have this this NGO,
do
right?
this for you.
I am very good with media and organizing. You know, can I volunteer? That person knows you've done your homework,
Right.
right?
It's easier
That
to-
mentoring that you're looking for will come
Exactly.
because you have done your
You will
homework.
be
Versus,
forced- yes.
yes, versus you saying, can I mentor me? Can you hire me?
Woo.
Right? Can you help me?
Yes,
They will
exactly.
not.
No, 'cause everybody's looking for help.
Yes,
please.
they will not.
Everybody's looking
right?
for help.
So
Wow.
the way to network is you need to be strategic,
Yeah.
right? Network with, first of all, with the thinking of how you can add value to other people. It's easier for you to get when you are first given. Let me give an example. So
Yeah.
a mentee of mine reached out about 2 weeks ago saying, oh, I need a job, right? Now, this was someone that literally planned my wedding from start to finish. Literally, right? It was a very private wedding, very few
Yes.
people. She planned it from start to finish. So I know what she can do, essentially,
Yes.
right? Because during my wedding, I was not worried about anything, essentially.
Yeah.
I woke up, you know, my wife woke up. We went,
to your
I
wedding, attended your wedding.
Very, very smooth.
Yeah.
So when she said, oh, I'm looking for a job, I just went to a community of business people that are, you know, very high power
Yes.
business people. I went to the community and I said, if you're looking for an executive assistant or a program
That's
manager,
exactly what's in my
I
head,
have
an
worked
executive
with,
assistant.
this
I have worked with
yes,
this
and
person,
he delivered.
right? She's
Yes.
fun to work with. She delivers. Immediately,
Wow.
our phone started
Of
blowing
course.
up. Immediately,
Yeah.
our phone started blowing up. Why did I put my name out there? Why did I, you know, vouch for her? Because I have seen what she
Tested
can
and
do.
trusted.
She had deposited
Yes.
in your bank.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And now she can withdraw.
Exactly, I've seen what you can do.
Wow.
So that's the thing with networking, right? Don't approach networking with a gimme
gimme,
mindset,
gimme, yes.
right? You have to first deposit before you can withdraw.
Woo, okay, wow, this has been such an amazing conversation. I thought it was just going to be about grant, but I've learned so many gems, you know, just from this. All right, so we always have our wise words on the web, and today's wise words we're ending up with says, Kautha, you haven't been here in a bit, so read our wise words for us, please.
Your brand is what other people say about you when you are not in the room.
Touche.
Jeff
Touche.
Bezos.
Your brand, what do you think? What do you think about KMS? You're thinking youth galvanization,
You're thinking
governance,
governance,
and
you're
all of.
thinking
When you think
civic
of
engagement.
Benga, you're thinking grants. When you think of Ronnie, you're thinking
Journalism,
journalism
broadcasting.
speaking. When you think of
Media.
Fulola, you're
Media.
thinking business. And okay, hospitality now. I think you're going to the hospitality school,
EdTech.
hospital. Yeah,
Health
tech.
sector.
Fantastic. All right, well, that's been an amazing conversation. If you're a business owner, non-profit founder, creative or dreamer, I hope this episode helped you realize that staying small is not always noble. Sometimes it's just poor positioning. So dream bigger, get strategic, get structured, and let your brand attract the opportunities it truly deserves. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn on notification. Special thanks to our brilliant guest, Olubenga Ogunboali. You've been
Thank you.
brilliant today,
Thank you,
as
thank you, thank you,
always.
thank you,
Whenever he
thank you.
speaks, I'm like,
Thank you.
I just want to sign up to one of your classes. Please take my money. Take my money. Till next time, I'm Ronke Giwa on Nofua. Keep building, keep growing, and keep watching the Big Conversation.